I do have to play for you some Russell Wilson sound.
Oh, baby.
I've got to do this. And along with these phone calls on DeAndre Johnson, this Russell Wilson thing, there was an interview with Russell Wilson, hour long. And look, I'm an unabashed Russell Wilson guy. I'm supposed to hate him. He broke my heart in 2011.
I enjoyed that game.
He's a winner. He's a flat-out winner.
WrestleMania
Makes plays.
stud.
I've been the guy supporting him, getting over $20 million a year. I love him. But I got to tell you something. I'm at the point now after hearing this interview and hearing some of this sound, this guy sounds like he needs to be committed. He says that the voice of God spoke to him, not on his first step or second step after throwing the egregious interception that cost him a Super Bowl, but on the third step, God spoke to him. Now, one would think God would have said, Russell, what the hell are you doing throwing the ball? Check to the run.
Is that what God sounds like?
I don't know.
Okay. Go on.
No, here's what God allegedly said to Russell Wilson.
The play happens. They make the play, right? And, in front of all those people and millions of people watching or whatever, and, they pick the ball off, and I take 3 steps. So the play's here. I take the sidelines over here. I take 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. And on the third step, God says to me, he goes, I'm using you. And I'm like, okay. So I take another, I take another 1, 2, 3. Take another, my sixth step, or whatever.
They can't see you if you go outside that right there.
So I take another step, and on another third step or whatever, and God says to me, he says, I want to see how you respond, but most importantly, I want them to see how you respond.
So this is after the interception and the third step and then the sixth step.
For God's sakes. Now, here's what else came out of it.
Wait, who's he talking to? I'm just curious.
The priest was on stage there who you heard. It said, hey, they can't see you over there. He was giving basically a speech.
In San Diego Rock Church, I believe.
So it was a church, obviously.
Now,
so him and God are boys.
All right, the other big news, outside of apparently the voices in his head, he is dating former R&B hip-hop star Ciara. You got to go back 10 years ago, but she was in the biz. Well, God has told him something else that many people are discussing. Shall we?
I'll never forget, she was on tour. She was traveling, and I was looking at her in the mirror. I was sitting in the dressing room. She was getting ready to go about 15 minutes before she went on stage, and she was sitting there, and God spoke to me and said, I need you to lead her. And I was like,
to the bedroom?
I know. I was like,
and what did that mean?
I'm looking at this and he goes, no, I want you and need you to lead her. And so, anyways, I told her, right then and there, I said, what would you do if we took all that extra stuff off the table, and just did it Jesus' way and make sure that, and she was like, really, do that?
Elaborate what that means, because there's a lot of people out here, their minds are going a whole lot of different places right now, and we want to know.
Yeah, we're talking about sex. So,
yeah, we want to know.
Dude, is this serious?
Listen to me. I got to tell you something.
Come
right
on.
Now. I'd love to get your response out in listener land. 248-539-9797. The voice is in his head here. I mean, can I take this seriously? Is this really how it works? I mean, I don't have a relationship with God. I know many of you say I'm going to hell. Okay, fair enough. Your opinion.
I'm right with you, dude.
But
I don't believe in the G-O-D.
But bottom line it here. I mean, do any of you actually take Russell Wilson seriously after this? I'm sorry. Now, there is one man on this show who is very religious. There is one man on this show who I do believe has a relationship with God. And I ain't ever heard Hatchet telling me about voices in his head. Hey, David, on your 4th phone call today, did God speak to you today saying take this call? Go ahead, David. You're the only guy on this show equipped to talk to me about what Russell might be feeling, because I gots to tell you.
I'm going to say this.
I think he needs to be committed.
Here we go.
What he's saying is true, but he needs to keep it to himself.
Wait, have you ever talked to God?
Yes, all the time.
He's talked to you.
What
has he said to you?
What does God say
I'm
about
not going
me?
to tell you what he says to me, but
Why?
he talks
Why not?
to me. It's a relationship
What does he
thing.
sound like?
He sounds different to everybody, but
Does he go by a nickname?
no. We don't know.
David,
no.
has God ever pissed you off?
What I'm saying is, of course.
Why does God hate the Wolverine football program?
Is it always that cryptic?
He needed to keep it to himself. That's all I'm going to
Now,
say.
see, I agree with that.
He needed to keep it to himself.
I don't care if people believe, but I got to listen to Russell Wilson. I mean, can you imagine? Here, let me tell you what the voices are saying in my head right now. Hey, I quit. Really? I'm leaving CBS. Oh, I'm sorry. God said to say that. That's ridiculous.